I don't know how your generation defines dubbing, but that's a very strong dub.
Yeah, 64 gigabytes. There's no way.
It says recording for itself.
Why? Cut something? Cut something?
No right. Something.
That was 4.5 hours.
We're getting down at 85. Oh, you did? You missed it. They actually
You're right, I might have
That was going on. I was making that content.
Who didn't sign in the chat?
Yeah, on the tab.
Just give me a second. I will go to They ask you for your first name to sign. Just fill out.
Alright, so it's your friend. Come next semester and buy Alright, so you have to bring I just something here, I guess. We love it. It's matter where you are. When you visit volume, do for a little study, and then do low for a year, and then do law school again.
You sign?
Yeah. Those are different.
They ask you for your first name to sign. And you can say what you have to fill out to sign.
That's like accounting they made, or they made it.
She has to. Yeah,
I didn't think that.
you take everybody's sign. Oh, can you add your first name? You have pain all the time.
There's only few which is open ones, so like basically the only
They ask you for your name sometimes, just fill out your first name sometimes. Let me help. Luego, el nombre 2 veces, lo único que luego tiene que repetir porque si después no hace nada.
no is his first name and then last name. That's it.
Oh, porque yo tenía uno que me salió ahora mismo, me salió 2 veces el first name y no se iba. ¿Esto lo que se Sí.
Yeah. So
If you don't know your employee ID, just get your ID please on your hand so we can move a little bit faster.
for the scholarship, for how it's going.
Alright guys, we're gonna start in about a minute and a half. I'm just trying to find the app on my phone. Just give me 1 second guys, alright? Thank you guys. minute and a half. Yes, thank you so much.
90 seconds.
90 seconds, thank you so much. All right, guys, so, good afternoon, guys. All right, guys, come on, give me some more energy. Come on, good afternoon, guys. All right, so this is the annual scholarship orientation. So, guys, can I ask a question? Who here likes money?
I don't.
All right, so somebody said I don't. Obviously, that person is richer than everybody else, and you should pay all of our tuition right now. You got it? No. All right. Who here likes free money? All right, so you guys are in the perfect place because every speaker who is here today is going to teach you how to get money that's out there for you for free. All you guys have to do is follow a couple of steps. Write an essay, maybe talk to somebody. So, another question. Who can talk here? Who can write an essay? Who knows where to go on campus to get help writing an essay? A couple down hands. All right, so our first presenter is going to give you that information and way more. So I'm bringing up Ms. Maji Littfeld.
Good afternoon again. Can you hear me? I don't like this mic very much because it keeps me grounded here and I like to move around. So I'm going to try to use one of this. I think there's a little one on the other table. The problem with those is that they sound a little weird, but if you can put up with that, it's fine. Because I don't think that I can speak loud enough without a mic that you can hear me, the people in the back, okay? So here we're going to learn about different topics today, different resources available for you, and we're going to learn about different scholarship opportunities, both internal and external that you may qualify for. We're going to help you, to teach you how and where to find them, and walk you through the Hostos scholarship system. I'm going to speak a little bit about the scholarship package, developing your scholarship package, and what that means is, if you have ever applied to any scholarship, and even if you have never applied to any scholarship, there's always going to be a package that you have to put together, and that completes your application. The package is different for every scholarship. One scholarship may ask you for only an essay, and that's it, without your applying. But some other scholarships may ask you to complete a profile, to write an essay, to provide a copy of your resume, a copy of your transcript, to list extracurricular activities, and even community service engagement, if you have any. So every scholarship is different, every scholarship varies, and you have to be very careful when you are reviewing the description and criteria so that you can determine what you want to apply for and the different opportunities that interest you. I am going to have my assistant, my tech person, open my presentation, and then I'm going to go through that with you. Later on, we're going to have different speakers here. There's somebody who's going to be talking with you about different resources for undocumented or immigrant students. There's also somebody who's going to be speaking with you about leadership. We have Mr. Jason Littfeld sitting all the way in the back, taking care of a very cute baby. And he's going to speak with you about community service engagement and how that affects your scholarship eligibility. There's going to be somebody else, Miss Xiomara Tomasela. She's also here. She works at the business office here at Hostos Community College, and she manages the Excelsior Scholarship, which I know, if not all of you, most of you have heard about. And that's about it for today. So let's start with my presentation. If you have any questions, we're going to try to take a few questions at the end of my presentation, just for time's sake. And then at the end of the agenda, if you all have an agenda at hand, you should have it, the word placed on your chairs. At the end of the event, we're going to have a session of question and answer. So please, please, please hold those questions. Don't forget them. All the speakers, the panelists are going to be sitting here until the end of the event. So you should be able to ask all of your questions. Okay? We ready to go? Okay, you didn't get enough coffee. You ready to go?
Yeah!
You're ready. Good. Right? Yeah, some people do coffee at night too. That's why we have it there. So if you need coffee, there's also iced coffee. because it's a warm day out there today. So feel free, iced coffee, hot coffee, however you like it. Now, the scholarship orientation. This presentation is about showing you how to put together your scholarship portfolio, developing that scholarship package that you have to put together when you're applying to different opportunities. The first step in this process is for you to be able to identify scholarship opportunities that interest you and that you may qualify for. How do you do that? Well, every scholarship has a description and criteria. So you have to be very careful and you have to make sure that you read that description and the criteria very carefully and that you understand all that information in there, and then you decide if you really, even if it interests you, if you really want to put an application to that scholarship. Okay? You are going to find that there are a lot of scholarship opportunities out there that may interest you. Let's say that you find about 10, 20 that interest you, and you feel like putting an application to all those. My recommendation to you, going back to that, read the description and the criteria very carefully and determine if you really want to work on 20 applications, because that's going to take you a lot of time. There's 20 different scholarship packages that you will have to put together, and every scholarship is going to ask you for something different. Different documents, different essays, different everything. So that's a lot of work. Be careful when selecting the ones that you're interested in. Application materials, as I said before, every scholarship is different. You may have scholarships that will ask you only to create a profile in their system, and with that you are participating. And you may be qualified, and you may even become the recipient of that scholarship. But we have some other scholarships that may ask you for a copy of a transcript, a very specific essay, to create a profile in their system, to provide a copy of your resume, letters of recommendation, and a lot of other different things, like create your package. So you have to be mindful, again, of the description and criteria. Go back, please. Apply only for those scholarships for which you are eligible. It is highly unlikely that you will be awarded if you are not eligible for a scholarship. So, this is a very good piece of advice. It might be a big waste of your time and energy to apply for something that you are not eligible for. If a scholarship says that it is for a specific major, let's say nursing, and that you need a specific GPA, and you don't have that GPA requirement, or you don't have the major requirement, then don't waste your time. Don't put an application for that scholarship because you're not going to receive it. Okay? Be careful, again. Take the necessary steps to ensure your application gets where it needs to go. If there is a checklist along with a scholarship description and criteria, please go through that. All the scholarships are always going to tell you what you need to put together, to get together, so that you can apply and qualify for it. If it says that you need transcripts, recommendation letters, essays, make sure that you go through them one by one and you check them off, so you ensure that your application is completed. And if you are applying through a system, make sure that you click submit, because a lot of times when you apply through the Hostos scholarship system, I see that you start working on the application, but you leave them as drafted, which means to me when I see it, that you're still working on that application, that you still haven't finished. And when those applications are like that, they don't go anywhere. Then you come to me and ask you, what happened? I applied to this scholarship and I didn't get it, I haven't heard anything. Well, what happens is that you never submit it. So you have to make sure that you click that last button at the end of the application page that says submit. Good? Good. Before sending the application, this is in regards to external scholarships, and I should stop here and explain a little bit about external scholarships. So we have here at Hostos, we offer information about internal scholarships. Those are our opportunities, Hostos opportunities, meaning scholarships that we develop for our students and that we manage. We have a system for it. You go and apply through that system. I can see everything that you do with those applications. You can come to me for updates to make sure that you submitted the application, to make sure that your application is complete, to make sure that your letters of recommendations have been submitted for everything. When it comes to internal scholarships, you can come to me. When it comes to external scholarships, those are opportunities that are developed by different organizations outside of Hostos. They send the information to me, we advertise them in the system, and assist in the application process if you need assistance with that. But with those scholarships, the external ones, you can also apply from anywhere you decide. And the same happens with the internal ones. But if you decide to apply to an external scholarship on your own, the only way that I know that you have put an application to those is if you let me know that you did so. And if you provide a copy to me of the application package that you submitted to that organization. Because I don't manage their system. All of them have a different system, a different way of receiving the applications. So there's no way that I will be able to give you an update on those scholarships or help you with that if you need assistance unless you provide information to me. Okay? Something that was mentioned in the last slide is to make sure that your name appears on every single page of your application package. That's very important so that if your application gets misplaced or the papers get loose, then they can figure out who it belongs to. An important requirement of scholarship applications is the letters of recommendation. This is very, very important. Choosing your recommenders is very important, so choose your recommenders carefully. Usually, scholarships want to see a recommendation letter from faculty, professors that you have taken classes with. They can speak about your character, they can speak about how you did in their class, what kind of student you were in that class, if you were an outstanding student, all of that. They can speak greatness about you. And it says that there, at least one letter should be from an academic source, meaning a professor or an academic advisor. Here in Hostos, usually we ask for letters of recommendations from faculty and staff, but sometimes they're also accepted from supervisors, from employers, from a community service coordinator or organization out there, somebody who knows you from outside but can speak of your character. It could be from your pastor if you go to church. So just be mindful. Every scholarship is going to tell you that, who the letters of recommendations are accepted from. And if you are not sure, and it is an internal scholarship, come to me, ask, and we can clear everything. Next. The ideal letter of recommendation. The letters of recommendation should come from, we spoke about this, faculty, staff, advisors, your coaches, if you have a coach assigned here, a supervisor, an employee. If you have a relative, a family member, that's not going to work. Because your mom, your dad, they're not going to say anything bad about you, right? You are the best child in the world to them. So that's why we need somebody from outside who has known you for a different role that you have played somewhere and can speak truthfully about your character. Okay? Yes. Good question. She's asking if these recommendations for your scholarship packet, you're going to be able to access that information at the end? Yes, of course. Let me show you. On your seat, we placed a little one of this booklet, a copy for everyone. This slide that you see in there is exactly the same information that is in this little booklet. Everything's in here. So you're taking that with you today. And you're also taking a copy of this external booklet. This is a great resource about external scholarships. Those that are not offered by Hostos, but they're being offered out there by different organizations, and you can learn all about them. If you find anything that interests you here, go ahead and apply. Okay? Or you can come to me if you have any questions. We can talk about it. I don't promise that I don't have all the answers, but definitely I can find out. Next slide. How to ask for a letter of recommendation. First step, start early. Why? Because your recommenders are busy people. Faculty, staff, supervisors, employers, they're busy people. And they need time to work on this letter for you. And you need to allow them time to write a great letter of recommendation for you. If you ask for a letter of recommendation overnight, they might be able to do it for you, but it's not going to be a great letter. It's going to be something that just to get you out of the way, pretty much. So start early. Even just imagine that you go through this booklet and you have identified some scholarships that you would like to apply to. Even if they are not opening tomorrow, but they open, let's say, next month, you have identified one scholarship already that you're interested in. So go ahead and think about those people who you would like to request a letter from. And once you have identified those people, then just reach out to them. Set up an appointment, go to their office, send an email, request that letter, and make sure that you do that even before you plan on applying to the scholarship or before you start applying, so that by the time you start working on your application, you already have your letter at hand. And you don't lose this opportunity because your application was not complete due to not having your recommendation letter. Okay? Discuss your plans with your recommenders before the application is even available, which is the same thing that I just said. Connect with that person. Send an email, visit the office, explain to them what is it that you're trying to do. What are you applying for? What are you trying to use this letter for? To say, I would like to apply to this scholarship, and I would like to request a letter of recommendation from you. If you can please provide that. You can also provide information to them, such as your resume, and there's something else. Your resume, and the reason why you can provide that to them, and it's a good idea, is because there's so much information on your resume that they can only see if you give them access to that piece of document. On your resume, usually you have listed community service engagement, extracurricular activities, and for some scholarships, that's a big, big requirement. So you don't want to miss on that. Make sure that you provide that information to them if you feel comfortable, and that way they can add more information about you and make the letters stronger. Something else that you can provide to them is a description of the scholarship, or any and all information that you have about that scholarship that you're trying to apply to. Just share some information with them, or all of it, so that they know exactly what you're doing, and that they know what the scholarship is looking for, and they can personalize your letter and make it a lot stronger. Okay. Go ahead. Give your recommender a written description. That's exactly the same thing that I just spoke about. You may also want to provide your recommenders with a copy of your transcript. We also talked about that. But this here, highlighted in red, can you see that? And I have said that, I think, many times already. Do not wait until the last minute to ask for your letters of recommendation. Do not do that. Please allow your recommenders time to write a very good letter for you. Okay? The personal statement. This presents an opportunity for you to speak about yourself. This is your chance to make yourself stand out and to provide us with a different picture of yourself. To allow us to know you differently. Because there's a lot of information that we can get from your resume, from your transcript, which provides a lot of beautiful numbers, your GPA, and the classes that you're taking. And that's about it. But there's so much more about you, about your character, that we don't know, that we cannot get from those pieces of paper, that we can only get from you if you share that information with us. And that's why we ask, a lot of scholarships ask for a personal statement. In the Hostos scholarship system, for you to be able to apply to any and all of the scholarships that we offer, you have to create a profile, which is also called the general application. And in that profile, you have to write a personal statement, which is not long. It's only about 200 words, which is half a paragraph. But while that might be easy, it may also present a challenge. Easy because you're speaking about yourself and you have all that information within you, but we also understand that it is also hard a lot of times to put all that information out there in writing on a piece of paper. And it's going to be harder because your story, I'm sure it's a great story and you can write pages and pages on an entire book. And to put that whole story in 200 words, that's going to be a big, big challenge. It could be a big challenge. But don't break your head. You can just talk to me. We'll work something out. We'll help you develop that. Okay? The first and most important task is to decide what you want to say. What exactly about yourself you want to say in that personal statement. You can talk about your career goals, your aspirations, what are you doing here at Hostos Community College? What are you planning to do in the future? Where are you planning to go? Why you chose this career that you're doing here? What is your motivation in life? You can speak about challenges that you have faced in your career path or that you're currently facing. What is the face that you put in front of those challenges? And there's so much that you can talk about. But just write your name and say, I am so-and-so, and that's it. Your name we can get from your transcript. We go in first and we get all that information. We are looking for your story. Got that? Personal statement. You should also consider very carefully the impression that you want to make upon your reader. Do not write in a cute, coy, or gimmicky style. Selection committees have heard it all already. Just be very careful when you're writing that personal statement. Do show that you have thought deeply and broadly about what you have learned in your academic career and what you hope to learn next, which is exactly what I mentioned before. What is it that you're doing here and what are you planning to do in the future? Why you chose that? Once you have written your first draft and submitted your profile, you can always go back and update the information entered. This applies only to the Hostos Scholarship website when you are creating your profile. So that's not definite. Even after you have submitted that, you can always go back and update the information. If at a different moment you read through your personal statement and you find out that you don't like what you entered, it's fine. You can just change that information. Update it. On the internal one. Because all the external scholarships have a different system. They have different requirements and we don't know all that. So you have to go by exactly what they say. Do say exactly what you mean and do not apologize or misrepresent. Can somebody help me? Thank you. Yourself. Next slide. Community service and extracurricular activities. This is very important for some scholarships, not all of them, but in general, community service engagement is extremely important, not only for scholarship applications, but also in life. Once you finish here with your career and you try to go out there and find a job, these companies are always going to ask you, so what else did you do at school? Did you just go there and complete your career, or did you also participate in community service activities, extracurricular activities? What else did you do? And if you don't have any of that, then chances are that you're not going to get your dream job because you didn't get any extracurricular activities while you were also doing this. So it's very, very important for you, if you haven't done so yet, to start doing that now. Get engaged, get involved. There's many different organizations here at school that can help you with that. You can also do it on your own, outside in your community, if you prefer that. But really, the organizations here are great. You're going to develop not only, your portfolio in terms of community service engagement, but that's also going to help you develop your character as a leader. And activities and honors refers to any recognition that you have received along your career path. It could be here at Hostos, or it could be while you were in high school, maybe you participated with an organization doing something, and they acknowledge you because of something outstanding that you did. An outstanding performance, maybe you were the best in the science class, social studies, history class, anything that you have been recognized for. Just don't be shy, mention it all there. Again, this applies to this now that I'm talking about. Is in regards to the Hostos scholarship profile that you have to create. A lot of external scholarships also ask for the same. If you don't have that information when you're creating your profile, you can just leave it blank. Don't worry about it now. Is it going to affect your qualification for scholarships? Yes, for some of them. If that particular scholarship has a component, a requirement, that you need to have community service engagement, then you're not going to qualify for that one because you don't have it. Or the same goes with activities and honors if you don't have received any of that. But as I said before, you can, after you submit your profile, you can always go back. If you gain that experience and you want to put it in there, just go back and update that information. And community service engagement and all that information that I just talked about before, there's going to be somebody speaking more in depth about that later on, and how you can join at least one of the organizations here. That's the Leadership Academy, and we have information here, so make sure that at the end you complete, you pick up your application here if you're interested, and you can do that. Also, just an announcement before I continue. At the end of the event, if you are interested in putting an application to any scholarship or creating your profile, at least starting that process today, we have tables here. There's that table that's in the back. You can go there and we can assist you with that. It has a new one. And we can assist you with creating your profile or putting an application to any scholarship that you're interested in, if you have already created your profile. There's also going to be more tables and computers all around here. And at the end, don't forget also where Luja is sitting to pick up your external scholarship book resources. Don't go without it. The same that I'm going to ask you, if you haven't done that yet, please complete the form, the online form for signing in. That means that lets us know that you attended this event. Okay? Thank you. Now I'm going to talk about, or we're going to go through the internal scholarship website. Do not click on the link because it's going to open up. Okay, so we're at the Hostos website. How many of you are familiarized with the Hostos website? Good. Many people here. So let me show you where you can go here to find the scholarship page. You can go, there's many different ways to find it. You can go to financial aid, scroll down to scholarships and grants. You can also go, and it shows you this page. You can also go where it says login to. Scroll down here to scholarships and grants, and here too shows you the same page. You scroll down a little, and you find this link. Click there, and that's the scholarship page. That's how it looks. Now, this is going to show you automatically all the Hostos opportunities that we are offering at the moment for the semester. You can see these ones are open now, about 6 or 7 of them. That doesn't mean that those are the only ones that we will be offering this fall semester. There's so much more coming up. So my recommendation is continue to check the system periodically so that you don't miss any scholarship opportunity. You can see that they are open because you can see the deadline here. All of them. Those that don't have a deadline and say ended, we are not offering those scholarships at the moment. And if you're interested in applying to any one of them, you can just scroll back up, please. Thank you. You can sign in. To sign in, you need your Hostos credentials. That's the same username and password that you use for your Hostos email account. Not for CUNY First, your Hostos email account. So in order for you to apply for scholarships, and to access the system, you definitely need to have access to your Hostos email account. If you don't remember that information, if you have never used the system before and you have never used your email account, make sure that you visit the IT department and they can help you retrieve that information. Okay? Now, you need to log in. Maybe Kelvin can help us here. Let's have him log in so that we can show you how it looks on the inside. You're not going to enter your whole email account, only your username and password. And once you log into the system, if you have never used it before, it's going to ask you to, applicant, thank you. It's going to ask you, what it's going to show you actually is the general application. That's the profile. Right there, please. So this is what you're going to see. If you have never ever used the system before, you haven't created your profile yet, it's going to show you this page. This is very basic. It's going to ask you for your personal information, phone number, name, last name. It's going to ask for honors and distinctions that you have received. It's going to ask you about community service engagement, internship participation, research projects. It's going to ask you about, what else does it ask for? Community service. All of that information, if it applies to you,